It's really hard to decide between the computer-based IELTS and the paper-based IELTS because it's a different experience and you have to find the test that helps you get the highest score. I've taken both IELTS versions, and in this video we have a look at the advantages and disadvantages of the two tests. And to make it easier for you to decide which test you want to choose, every advantage is worth 1 point. At the end of this video, we're going to have a clear winner, so make sure you watch the video till the end. By the way, guys, if you are going to take your IELTS soon, check out my IELTS materials. There I teach you everything you need to score high. I show you step by step how to give high scoring answers. And of course, we do many practice tests together, so you will feel confident on test day. You can find the link to the materials in the description box. And now let's get right into it. Let's start with the first point, adjusting the volume. That's one of the things I don't like about the paper-based IELTS. You can't adjust the volume in the listening test, and this can easily lower your score. You're sitting in a room with other test takers and everyone listens to the same speaker. If you don't hear well what is being said in the recording, you can't answer the questions, so you lose points. When I took the IELTS on paper, the speaker was quite far away from me, so I had difficulties to understand what was going on in the recording because I couldn't hear it well. I didn't like that. I like it better when I can adjust the volume. In the computer-based IELTS, you can do that. Before the start of the test, you get headphones and then you listen to an example recording and can adjust the volume as you like. I found this way better than the paper-based test because I could understand the recording better. Here, the computer-based IELTS wins, so 1 point for the computer-based test. The next point is very subjective, although I think there is a clear winner here. We're talking about IELTS writing. Some test takers prefer writing their answers by hand. Others prefer using a keyboard. But there are 3 problems with handwriting in the paper-based IELTS that can lower your score considerably. The first problem is that you must make sure that your handwriting is legible because the examiner must be able to read your answer. Don't forget that you're under time pressure, so you need to write quite fast and then your handwriting may get messy. You don't have this problem if you're typing your answers. Second, it's extremely difficult to make corrections. You have to cross out what you've written and then you need to find a space on your paper where you can squeeze in what you actually want to write. Of course, if you use a pencil, you can erase words, but erasing costs a lot of time. It's not convenient when you're under time pressure. By contrast, on a computer, it's super easy to make corrections. The third problem with the paper-based IELTS is that when you have finished your answer, you must count the words by yourself, which costs a lot of time. In the computer-based IELTS, the word count is displayed on the screen, which is extremely convenient. But the computer-based test also has 2 drawbacks. When you type, it's easy to make typos, and if you're typing slowly, the computer version may not be for you. I personally prefer the computer version for IELTS writing because I find it way more convenient to type my answers. But for some people, the paper-based test may be better when it comes to writing, and that's why both get 1 point here. By the way, guys, if this video is helpful to you, hit the like button. Also, comment down below which test you want to take, the computer-based IELTS or the paper version. I would love to know which one you like better. Now, let's go on with the biggest advantage of the computer-based test. This is going to be crucial for your decision, so make sure to consider this before making a choice. Guys, if you take the IELTS on a computer, you can copy the answers from the reading passage. Yes, you don't have to type them. You can simply copy them and it's done. When I take the IELTS, I never type the answers in IELTS Reading. I always copy them from the text. This is so much faster, and also you can't make spelling mistakes. In the paper version, you must write the answers by hand. This takes time and you can easily make mistakes. I feel that this is the biggest advantage of the computer-based test, because it means that you have a lot more time for reading and finding the correct answers than in the paper version, because you don't need that time to write the answers down. So in this point, the computer version definitely wins. Now, let's have a look at a super important point: time management. Which test allows you to manage your time better? In the computer-based IELTS, when you take the reading and writing tests, you have a countdown on the screen that tells you how much time is left. So this is extremely convenient. If you take the IELTS on paper, there may be a clock in the room, so you can check the time yourself. But when I took the paper-based test, there was no clock. Instead, every 10 minutes, the invigilator wrote the remaining time on a whiteboard. For me, this was not sufficient to manage my time well. I would have preferred having a clock where I can see how much time is left. So when it comes to timing, the computer-based IELTS wins, because you can be sure that you will have a countdown on the screen, which means that you can manage your time perfectly. Now, let's talk about the biggest disadvantage of the paper-based IELTS. I really don't like this, and it drove me crazy when taking the paper-based test. What am I talking about? The IELTS reading test. In the computer-based IELTS, the reading passage and the questions are displayed next to each other. This is super convenient because you can easily switch between the questions and the passage, and this makes it easier to find the correct answer. But the paper-based IELTS is a different story. You get a booklet which consists of several pages, and you are not allowed to tear them out. The problem is that the passages and the questions are not displayed next to each other. This means that you always have to turn pages if you want to switch between passage and questions. I found this incredibly exhausting because it makes checking your answers so hard. You read the question, then you have to turn pages to find the answer. If you then want to check again what the question said, you need to turn pages again to go to the question. And if you then want to have a look at the passage again, you need to turn pages again and turn for the information again. I don't understand why it's like that. It's clear that test takers need to check their answers several times. You usually don't find the answer immediately. You need to have a look at the question again. This is so stressful and time-consuming. Contrast this with the computer-based IELTS, where you have all of that next to each other. This is so much better. So here, without question, the computer-based IELTS gets one more point. There is another point I really don't like about the IELTS on paper, because this one can really lower your score, and this can't happen if you take the IELTS on a computer. So here you definitely have an advantage. In the paper-based IELTS, when doing the reading and listening test, you get a booklet and an answer sheet, and usually test takers write their answers in the booklet because you can cross something out or change an answer. Later, people then transfer answers to the answer sheet because only that sheet will be assessed. But now comes a huge disadvantage, guys. Transferring answers is a source of mistakes. For example, it can easily happen that you write your answer into the wrong box on your answer sheet. Let's say you want to transfer your answer for question number 5 and you accidentally write this answer in box number 6. Then you don't get the point. In the computer-based test, you can't make such mistakes. You don't have to transfer answers. You just click on the correct answer or you write it down. Here, the only disadvantage is that you cannot cross out answers or write down potential answers. But that's not a huge drawback because you don't have that much time to think about an answer anyway. So here, the computer-based IELTS wins. Now, let's have a look at how fast you get your results. If you take the computer-based IELTS, you get your results after 1 to 5 days. By contrast, if you take the paper-based IELTS, you have to wait for up to 13 days. So if you need your results quickly, you may want to consider the computer version because here you get your results much faster. This is another point for the computer-based IELTS. So which test wins? It's the computer-based IELTS. It's way more convenient, and this makes it easier to get a high score. In particular, things like having a timer on the screen, being able to make corrections easily in IELTS Writing, and being able to copy answers in IELTS Reading are huge advantages that help you get a better score. That's it. That's all you need to know to decide whether to take the computer-based or paper-based IELTS. I hope you guys liked this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and comment down below which test you're going to take. Also, share this video with your friends so they can choose the best test for them too. See you in the next video!